99% of people do not know this. People want to lift. They've lost collagen, they've lost elastin, be it age 30 or be it 50 plus. The sag that people get is the number one reason they come into clinics. Yes, brown spots are bothering the people. Yes, fine lines and wrinkles, but sag is the number one reason people come in. Today I'm going to tell you what 99% of people do not know, and I'm going to give you 3 solutions because of it. 3 solutions that will work if people don't want surgery, but they want lift. 99% of people do believe that fillers lift the face. Now, how do I know that? If you like these videos, click like below. People come in and they'll point to the downturned mouth and they'll say, I want filler because I want this gone. Just put some filler in over here, and they often point here, so I get a lift. The nasolabial fold, the folds around the nose and the mouth, it's the most common thing we still get asked. People say, put some filler in wherever you need to just do this, and they lift the face. Well, filler doesn't lift the face, and it's a misnomer that filler lifts. What filler does is volumize. So if there's hollows around the face, then say filling the cheek can pick this fold up a little bit. If there's loss of bone or a poor jaw angle, fillers can give a little pull back because they create volume. As an extreme example, think if you took a golf ball and you put it here, yes, it would pull the face, but it wouldn't look good. And so for that reason, we can only add volume should the angles allow or the face allow. If you look at this face here, it's hollow. We can add fillers to pull because there's gain to be had. If you look at this face, it's full. So we can't take a full face and make it too full, or it will look like a puffer fish. It would look unusual, and that's the exact look that people don't want. So what do we do? Very important to understand this. What can you do to get a lift? Now, surgery provides a lift. A facelift does lift. But there are 3 options if people do not want surgery that I use in clinic that I like to get a quote-unquote lift. And people have to be realistic with the results. The more loose skin they have, the less happy they're typically going to be with non-surgical options, and understanding that everyone's going to have a different response to these. There's not one standard response. In a surgical facelift, sure, you can pull out 1/2 inch of skin, 1 inch, 2 inches, and you can get lift by releasing the ligaments. When we go to non-surgical options, there's variability. Number 1 for creating lift are biostimulators. Biostimulators lift by tightening the skin, by restoring collagen and elastin, and by mimicking bone. Because in females especially, where hormones dive down, mimicking the bone is a huge opportunity should there be bone loss, and almost always there is by the age of 40. Recreating that bone creates structure, but in and of itself, biostimulators give you collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid restoration, the structure and support of the skin to create lift. And we know this. PLLA, Sculptra is one. Easy PRF, platelet-rich fibrin gel, would be the latest, where we take the blood, spin it down, heat it, take another portion of the blood where we concentrate the growth factors, the stem cells. Stem cells are cells that can grow into other things. So they're cells that can grow into skin, into bone, into other organs. In this case, we are regenerating or rejuvenating the skin and the healthy environment the skin lives in to give that rejuvenated look. So biostimulators do tighten, they do pull, they do restore. That would be number 1. Now that's an injectable. Sculptra is a synthetic in that it's man-made. The platelet-rich fibrin gel is 100% natural, so now we have that option. But they're both injectables. Let's go to number 2. Many people don't want injectables, so one option therefore would be heating. Number 2 is heating. Now, when you heat the skin, what are you doing? Denaturing the proteins. You're creating an injury of sorts so that the body then builds back its own collagen and elastin. We're looking for type 1 and type 3 in all cases, mainly type 1. Type 2 is in bone and type 4 is more in organs. So type 1 and 3 collagen is what we're looking for, and these have been proven to restore those. When we talk about heating, you have a couple options. The main ones are RF, fractionated RF, which means little dots of radio frequency that are superficial and deep when you talk about fractionated RF. And then you have bulk heating with RF. So that would be the one heating option. The second most common would be HIFU, high intensity focused ultrasound. Or in the case of Ulthera, which is a very popular one, it is MFU, or micro-focused ultrasound. They're similar, however, Ulthera has the benefit of using an ultrasound device to also visualize the SMAS. And the SMAS is what is released in a facelift to allow the pull, the natural pull of the face. So many people believe by targeting that SMAS layer and heating that, you're more apt to get a better result because you're focused heating in that area. HIFU is more scattered ultrasound, if you want to think of it, or non-visualized heating. So those would be two common ones. So radio frequency tightening or ultrasound tightening, those are the two most popular. I like both of those. In my practice, I use fractionated RF personally. Number 3 would be PDO thread lifting. And yes, PDO threads do lift. You have two options here. You have the slower, more natural look of smooth and twist threads. And then you have the more lifting, which everyone loves, which is using barbs or molded threads. I prefer molded threads because in barb threads, the little barbs, because they're thin, they tend to dissipate, resorb, dissolve, however you want to say it. They lose their grip quicker because the little point of the thread that is the barb will obviously be thinner and so go away quicker. In a molded thread, the lifting is created by the chunks of the mold and the angles on the mold that stays longer. Either way, these are typically 18 gauge larger threads. The average would be 8 to 12 used in a face, jawline, lower face, cheek, and then reverse threads into the hairline. So say 5 to 7 per side. So threads do create lifting through the collagen production and through the barbs or molded edges that create the immediate lift. The common theme you see here is building of elastin and collagen, whether we're using heating, whether we're using PLLA or Sculptra, whether we're using your own growth factors, or we're using barbs and thread type of procedures. And if someone gets a facelift, they still often would like to also do resurfacing, so fractionated RF, threads, and Sculptra. They all can work together because just because you pull and remove skin doesn't mean that you don't want more glow and you don't want the skin to have more collagen and elastin. But for many people, they don't want surgery. In fact, only 1 or 2 or 3% of the population is willing to have a facelift. I mean, the aesthetic population, 98% of them do not want or will not get surgery. That's a much smaller population. So we must provide services that are non-surgical, even though they may be inferior results to the surgery. In many cases, they can equal, and if they don't, they still avoid those people that don't want to have surgery and give them an option to have results, albeit less impressive. Many people are happy with less impressive. There you go. There's your options for lifting. And the one thing that people do not understand is that fillers, hyaluronic acid fillers, do not lift. They volumize and they create angles. If you want lift, there's 3 options. Stay tuned here. I put a complete playlist up here of biostimulators and one down here on skincare routines for your home care. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.